Welcome back to another Infinity Ambition Mentality podcast. The last podcast was all the way back in February. Now it's July. I am back with another episode. I hope you've all been doing well, but I'm going to go straight into it. Today, we are talking about the power of awareness. Because you see, it's often that when we have our negative thoughts, when we have these negative feelings coming up, the reason why they really put us into a bad mood is because we are not aware of them in the first place. We often go through the day and then we classify the day as a bad day when actually we just had a bad moment. So the awareness will allow us to have that bad moment as just a bad moment, nothing more than that. So the awareness of your internal world, which is your dialogue, the self-talk, the thoughts, feelings, emotions going on around in here, it's the first and most crucial step in bringing about change. If you're not aware of what's going on in here, how can you bring about change? It's that simple. Awareness is the catalyst for change. Catalyst, it's something that speeds up the chemical reactions. Awareness will allow you to speed up the process of change. Because change is good and bad, but awareness will allow you to channel that change into a positive state. Without paying attention to your thoughts, you're giving your power of choice away. Because you see, when you have thoughts, most of us don't realize that we actually have choice over which thoughts to accept and which thoughts to reject. We always have choice, but unfortunately we don't actually recognize that, and we often say, oh, I had a negative thought, that means I'm a negative person. Let's say you have a negative self-talk of, I'm not good enough, right? That's just a thought, but you start to believe that you're not good enough, when actually it's just a thought. Just like you can have a thought of, I am good enough, I am not good enough. What's the distinguishing factor? It's you. You can decide which way you go. When a leash is removed from the dog, what happens? It runs around wildly and its owner has no idea of what's coming next until it catches the dog and puts the leash back on. The leash is your awareness. That's all it is. It's your awareness to allow your thoughts not to run around wildly. Without awareness, your thoughts can go anywhere, and then you're stuck with chaos, right? That's what you're stuck with. So without having your leash on your inner world, you can simply forget about controlling it. The more of a leash that you have on your inner world, the more control you have. It's a direct correlation. And especially with the constant external noise of today's digital age, smartphones, TV, news, media, it's very, very difficult to get into the place of awareness. So that's why stillness and silence is so important, especially now. If we can find just a few moments during the day where we are just silent and simply just observing what's going on, not judging the thoughts, because when you judge the thoughts, that can create certain emotions as well. Simply just staying calm and realizing that, okay, I'm having this thought. Is this serving me? No. Okay, I'll accept it and let it pass. That's the whole process by which you become a master of your internal world rather than allowing your internal world to take a control of your own life. That's the distinguishing factor. Practicing the whole process of catching yourself the moment you feel uneasy and asking, why am I feeling like this? That's another very, very powerful way of becoming more in control of your inner world. So let's say you have a negative thought. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this? And then there's an inner voice that will have an answer. Now you can question that inner voice. Why am I feeling this way? The more you keep asking yourself why, the closer you get to the root. And once you get to the root of the problem, you solve the problem in the first place. That's the whole process of awareness. We are in an age of constant productivity where if you just sit down, you might feel guilty. No, sitting down, being silent, doing nothing for a few moments is actually one of the most productive things that you can do. Identifying that, okay, me just sitting here, staying calm, staying peaceful can actually lead to my greatest breakthroughs. That's the realization. All the great achievers, all the greatest discoveries have come from a place of quiet. They haven't come from a place of noise and random chaos. It's come from a place of quiet, peace and stillness. And this is basically what I've just said is basically mindfulness. Now, there's a lot of science behind mindfulness, which you can also search up on the internet, which is why I'm not going to go into the science. The whole process of mindfulness is to have that connection with that inner voice within you, because we all have it. But with technology, noise, media, that drowns out our inner voice, and often in moments of silence, we can slowly regain that connection with our inner voice. As the great Alan Watts said, there are no wrong feelings, And so to try and force one's feelings is to be other than what they are is absolutely absurd. I'll read that again. There are no wrong feelings. And so to try and force one's feelings to be other than what they are is absolutely absurd. Acceptance, the power of accepting what you're feeling currently, understanding that it's temporary and it shall soon pass. Your feelings are neither right or wrong. They just are. That's why when we label our feelings, we have already lost the battle, whether it's a positive or a negative one. But the moment you realize that, okay, this feeling is just a feeling, I'm accepting this, I'm not judging it because it's normal and it will soon pass, that's the way you can slowly regain the control over your internal world. Once you have a strong relationship with yourself, why would you ever need the love and support of someone else? And this strong relationship comes from becoming more aware of what's going on in here. And through this process of awareness and mindfulness, you strengthen the relationship with yourself because you are gaining control and power over your internal world, which is your mind. Because our mind loves to wander around. But if you can regain the control, you actually strengthen the relationship with yourself. The relationship with yourself is the most important relationship. Because once you have a strong relationship with yourself, would you ever need the love and support of another during your dark moments, during your dark times? Because you have the love and support of yourself, you wouldn't actively need to have reassurance or external love and support from someone else. Yes, it's nice to have that, but it's not a necessity. Often when most of us feel down and upset, we need someone to be there beside us. Why can't that person be ourselves? It's absolutely possible. Strengthening the relationship with yourself is literally like making a new companion. The only difference is that this companion is you. It's within you. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days of the week, 365 days a year. It's available. And this whole process of becoming more aware of your internal world gives birth to your inner companion. That's all it is. And when you practice this constantly and consistently, situations that might have once triggered you will now not trigger you because of that awareness. Because now you understand that, okay, this situation is happening. How should I control myself? You've gained control over you rather than allowing your emotions to control you, right? And that distinguishing factor means that situations that maybe in the past would have triggered you now will not trigger you. Because you've explored the root of that problem, now it's not a problem anymore because you understand yourself more. Instead of becoming a reactor, you become a responder. Responder means that you are in control. Reactor is when you allow your impulse or your primal instinct to take over. That's the key factor here. Awareness sheds the light on our strengths and weaknesses. Strengths and weaknesses make us who we are, because without them we wouldn't be unique. We would literally be the same as everyone else. But because you have those strengths and those weaknesses, that defines you and that makes you unique to everyone else. The truth is, if we all have our weaknesses, why is it a problem? It's because we are not aware of them in the first place. If we can become aware of our weaknesses, we can bring about changes that will allow them to turn into strengths, if we need them to. Sometimes it's okay to have a weakness. Let's say we need to work on public speaking. Well, now that you are aware of the fact that you need to work on public speaking, you can actually work on public speaking. You can actually improve. But if you were not aware of it, then you'll constantly go to events, speak out in publicly, but then things wouldn't go your way. You would get negative reviews and you'd wonder why. That's the power of awareness. Picture yourself in a desert with the scorching sun beating relentlessly upon you. The sticky sweat is dripping down your forehead and your neck. But if you are not aware of the growling lion eyeballing you in the distance, how can you think of an escape route in the first place? In that case, awareness would kickstart your primal survival instincts and allow you to think of an escape route. So, in essence, awareness saved your life. Neuroscience says that 95% of our thoughts are the same as yesterday, which is absolutely crazy. So the 5% of them have the potential to be different. Now, the extent to which these 5% are either progressive or regressive depends on the extent to which you are aware of what's going on in your internal world. The extent to which these 5% of thoughts are either progressive or regressive depends on the extent to which you are aware of your thought in the first place. Power of awareness. That literally determines whether you are thinking progressive thoughts or regressive thoughts. With awareness comes power and control. And this power and control has the potential to propel you in the direction that you truly want. Not what anyone else wants, not what you should want, what you truly want. It all lies within awareness. And the good thing is, the truly extraordinary thing is that awareness is right within you. All it requires is you to dig it out and let it shine on the rest of the world. So that concludes the end of this episode, The Power of Awareness. I truly hope you enjoyed it and you took some value from it. If so, please give it a like, a share, and a follow or subscribe, whatever platform you're watching on. Thank you so much for listening once again. Have a good day, and most importantly, stay blessed.